My name is Kerith Muir from Jamaica.
Yes, Rahul back. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Excellent. Right. So, what's your question for today?
My question is, well, at first, I want to say that I'm not encouraging anybody to take DMT, but for the people that have tried dimethyltryptamine, they claim that they experienced entering into a realm where they witness a clown like being called a jester. Can you tell me about that?
Well, I can't tell you about what their experience is, but in Wu-Sabat, we don't really encourage anyone to take anything such as DMT. But of course, we know that what it does, it interacts with the area of your brain in the hippocampus region, which is what causes hallucinations, and this is what people take, what they call psychedelic drugs and so forth, so that they can try and experience being on higher dimensions or spiritual encounters and so forth. But of course, everyone's individual experience is going to be different. We know that we teach by way of Partner Babyanun, the master teacher, about your barothry gland that was removed, which gave you the ability to access your higher senses, right? Such as, telepathy, intuition, psychometry, and clairvoyance. And when people induce themselves by taking artificial stimulants, they will have all kinds of experiences. Other people will do things like ayahuasca and so on and so forth, but it's all based on someone taking something to induce a situation or a condition that you can actually access naturally. So we focus on natural nature and natural remedies, and not trying to make things happen, you know, by using stimulants. So when you say, "Can I tell you about?" Can I tell you about? It's like saying to someone, people will take a drug, right? Even say smoking weed, for example. If you have 10 people in the room and they're all smoking, they're gonna have different experiences based on their personal reaction to that stimulant. So even alcohol, anything that is an intoxicant, people are going to react different to it, and it's a personal experience because no one can be in another person's body and mind to experience what they're experiencing at that particular time. So yeah, we don't, we deal with everything naturally. And the thing is,
Yes.
if you take something, then you're going to rely on it, because what happens when you stop taking it? You just go right back to reality.
Yes, but what I'm wondering is that many people claim to see a DMT jester, a clown like being. So, what are the chances that so many people would experience seeing the same thing?
Well, many people claim many things. It doesn't mean that it's true. So, I mean, okay, so what is the point that you're trying to find out if they're all telling the truth, or what is the point of your, what do you
I
mean, what
want I
exactly do
want
you?
to know if this being that they experience seeing. I want to know if it's a real entity or not.
Well, I wouldn't know because I haven't experienced that entity or taken DMT and have the same experience that they're claiming to have. But what I'm answering the question is, we don't advocate that anyway. We don't teach for people to take DMT.
Yes, me
Or
too. I don't want people to take it. That's why I started out saying I'm not encouraging anyone to take DMT.
right, okay, yeah. So yeah, for people who are claiming that, that's their claim. But the thing is, they see the being, and then what? What does that do for them? What does the being
Well,
do? What's the, okay? They see this being. Let's say if we go along with it anyway, and then what?
Well, I didn't go any further to find out what this being actually did with them once they entered that realm that they claim they entered.
Right. But we have people claiming all kinds of things every day. You know, it's like you speak to religious people and they make a lot of claims until you start to question them, to substantiate and like give you the details of what, you know, what they're claiming. And it becomes
Yes,
very quickly apparent that it's just a claim. Anybody, it's a belief or a claim. Because anyone can make a belief or claim something, but, you know, what does it do
yes, but
for us?
I I wanted to ask you this though. So the thing about DMT, they since they say it brings your mind into a higher realm, if there are higher realms that your mind could experience by probably you having your barytheric gland or something like that, what is the point of accessing these higher realms?
That's what I asked the question. Okay, they see a being, and then what? It's that's what I'm saying. It's like people can claim all kinds of things. It's like I said, you can take alcohol, you can take, you know, weed or any type of stimulant or an intoxicant, and make all kinds of claim. But the reality is, then what? Did you understand what I'm saying? Like, then what?
Yeah.
It's like the question. Another claim, right? A lot of people believe that they see Jesus or that Jesus is going to come, right? That's a claim. That's something that people tell you that they go into a prayer state or what they consider to be spiritual and they see or meet this being and they say that he spoke to them and he's going to come back. The question is, if he does, then what? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they will say he's going to come back. All right, when he comes back, then what's going to happen? Where, you know, when we go into the details, it's just something that is a belief or it's an hallucination or it's some kind of effect that is affecting, as I said, the area of the brain that causes a lot of imagination, hallucinations, and you have an experience, right?
So there's no substance that can connect your mind to a higher realm.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you can do that naturally. And when you say a higher
Okay.
realm, that's what I'm saying. Which realm are they connecting to?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's like when people say they see beings, right? Let's say some type of being that they say they've seen. But they'll come and ask us questions about that being. And I'll be like, well, why didn't you ask the being the question since you saw the being or you had an encounter with the being? Did you not think to have a conversation with that being to ask them, you know, information, questions like, what's your name? Where are you from? How did you come here? Why do you want to interact with me? You know, speak to the being. We have a being that has incarnated amongst us and we see him, we've touched him, we know he's real and he's done works and given us answers to questions and given us information way before anybody else was able to do so and still doing so till this day. So if you claim to meet a being, what is that being doing or has it done for you or for humanity? Or is it just you just saw the being, came off your high and that's it? So you have to question these people. See, with Wu-Sabat, we question people because we are done with the bamboozling and claiming things and no results. We don't get any results. So we decided to take matters into our own hands and deal with actual facts, deal with things that we can substantiate, things that can be proven. And those we can't prove, we leave them in the state of belief until you can prove it. But what I'm saying is, a lot of people make claims. I spoke to somebody this week that came to the store and they made a claim that they speak to Jesus. So I asked them, was he physical or was he in a spiritual state? Is he a spirit or is he physical? Because if you don't have lips and you don't have a larynx and you don't have the ability to speak, how are you speaking to this person? And how are they responding back to you? You follow me?
Yes.
So with Wu-Sabat, we like to get to the bottom of everything, the details. And if you can't prove it, and you're just wanting us to believe you, we don't just believe people for the sake of believing it. You can believe it for yourself and with those who will accept and believe it with you, but we don't do that because we know that belief is based on not knowing or things you can't prove. So what I'm saying to you is there are many people around the world right now taking all kinds of substances, whether it's DMT, doing ayahuasca, taking alcohol, smoking weed, taking crack, cocaine, whatever substance they're taking, they're going to have an experience. And then everyone has a different experience. And when they come off the high, they have to face reality, go back to reality and deal with reality. So what I would say to you
Okay.
is, yeah, it's not even worth, entertaining it. And if they make a claim, ask them these questions I'm asking you. I've
Uh,
had many conversations with people that claimed to see this and that. And I ask them very basic questions like, okay, you saw Jesus. I've had this one many times. I say, what complexion was he? What was his hair type? What did he look like? How tall was he? What was his weight? These are basic questions. And they will say they don't know. and all of a sudden, it gets into a thing of, because they can't answer the questions, then it's just like, you have to have faith. Just accept what I say. And we don't do that because we've given religion 6,000 years and hasn't yielded any results.
Okay, but listen to this. So what I was the reason why I came on here and asked this question is because I was wondering, like, if your mind gets altered or if your mind gets put in an altered state when you take a certain substance,
Right.
that could cause certain beings or entities to connect with you when your mind is in an altered state.
That's
That I was
correct.
wondering if that was possible.
Yes, that is possible. This is what we say, that when you're intoxicated, right, you're vibrating on a frequency that some of these beings are vibrating on. They can then resonate with you and can walk into you, right? These beings are called walk-ins, where they will walk into you and take control of your vessel. Even what you think, you are accessing something called the mental reservoir, which we all tap into. So you can tap into negative thoughts. It only takes 3 seconds, right, for a being to read your thoughts and read your energy field, as in your aura, and they will see that you're vibrating on the frequency that is conducive to them, and they can take over your being. Yes, this is why people would do many things by hearing voices in their head and then doing something, and will say that a voice in their head told them to do so, and then that
Yes.
being can leave them. There's a movie called Fallen with Denzel Washington that you can watch that gives you a clear kind of depiction of entities jumping from one being or one vessel to another. You see, so these things are definitely possible. You have many entities. Even music does this to you, because music is also on particular frequencies that these beings can actually ride that wave into your being.
Oh, interesting to know. Thank you.